Once, in a small village nestled at the foot of a misty mountain, lived a boy named Kaito. He wasn't particularly strong or smart, and certainly not the one anyone thought would achieve greatness. Every morning, he gazed up at the mountain peak that pierced the sky, wondering what lay beyond the clouds. The villagers laughed at him whenever he spoke of reaching it. "You can't climb that mountain," they would say. "It's impossible." But Kaito had a different kind of fire in his heart. One morning, as the sun rose, he packed a small bag, tied his sandals, and stepped toward the towering mountain. A frail elder, the wisest in the village, called out to him, "The mountain is vast and merciless. What makes you think you can reach the top?" Kaito paused, looking back with steady eyes. "Because I will not stop walking." The first steps were easy. The grass was soft beneath his feet, and the birdsong kept him company. But as the incline grew steeper, his legs began to ache. He slipped on loose rocks and scraped his knees. A sharp wind cut through his thin clothes. He wanted to quit. "This is harder than I imagined," he muttered. Then he remembered his promise, not to stop walking. He took a deep breath and climbed one more step, then another. As he pressed on, the path revealed strange challenges. A roaring river blocked his way, and the current seemed too strong to cross. Kaito sat on the bank, staring at the rushing water. Doubts crept into his mind. What if the villagers were right? What if I'm just wasting my time? But then he noticed something. A group of ants, forming a living bridge to cross a smaller stream nearby. Each tiny ant carried its weight, relying on the strength of the group. Inspired, Kaito searched the banks and found a fallen tree. With effort and patience, he rolled it into the river, creating a bridge. Step by step, he continued. Days turned into weeks. Hunger gnawed at him, and exhaustion pressed on his body. Yet, with every challenge, Kaito adapted. He learned to listen to the mountain, to understand its whispers in the rustling trees and shifting winds. When storms raged, he found shelter. When the sun burned hot, he rested in the shade of ancient rocks. Each step became lighter, not because the path grew easier, but because Kaito grew stronger. Finally, after what felt like a lifetime, Kaito reached the summit. The world stretched endlessly before him, valleys and rivers winding like silver threads. For a moment, he stood there, breathless, not just from the altitude, but from the realization. The journey had changed him. And then, he laughed. Not because he had reached the top, but because he understood something profound. The mountain had never been his enemy. It had been his teacher. Every rock, every storm, every obstacle was a lesson, showing him that the only limits were the ones he set for himself. As he descended back to the village, his steps were lighter, his heart fuller. When he returned, the villagers gathered around him, their eyes wide with disbelief. They asked how he had done it, how he had achieved the impossible. Kaito smiled and said, "I didn't conquer the mountain. I conquered myself."